Welcome to our comprehensive guide on school finance, budgeting, and resource allocation. In this video, we'll break down the essentials of how schools manage their money, plan budgets, and distribute resources to ensure every student gets the best possible education. Whether you're a teacher, administrator, or simply curious about how schools operate behind the scenes, this series will provide you with a clear understanding of the financial foundations that keep schools running smoothly. Let's start by exploring what school finance really means and why it's so important for educational success. School finance refers to the management of funds within educational institutions. It encompasses everything from securing funding sources to allocating money for staff, facilities, and programs. Understanding school finance is crucial because it impacts every aspect of a school's operation, from classroom resources to extracurricular activities. By mastering the basics of school finance, educators and administrators can make informed decisions that benefit students and the wider community. Next, we'll look at where schools get their funding. Schools receive funding from a variety of sources, including local, state, and federal governments. Local funding often comes from property taxes, while state and federal contributions are based on formulas and specific programs. Some schools also benefit from grants, donations, and fundraising efforts. The mix of these funding sources can vary widely depending on the location and type of school. Understanding where the money comes from helps administrators plan budgets that reflect the needs and priorities of their students. Budgeting is a critical process in school finance. It involves planning how to use available funds to meet the school's goals and obligations. A well-crafted budget ensures that resources are allocated efficiently, supporting both academic and operational needs. The budgeting process typically includes input from administrators, teachers, and sometimes even parents or community members. This collaborative approach helps ensure that the budget reflects the school's priorities and addresses the needs of all stakeholders. Developing a school budget usually follows a series of steps. First, schools assess their needs by reviewing past expenditures and identifying future priorities. Next, they estimate revenues based on expected funding. Then they allocate funds to various categories, such as salaries, supplies, and maintenance. Finally, the budget is reviewed and approved by the school board or governing body. This structured process helps ensure transparency and accountability in how school funds are used. School budgets are divided into several key categories. The largest portion typically goes to salaries and benefits for teachers and staff. Other major categories include instructional materials, facility maintenance, transportation, and extracurricular activities. By organizing the budget into these categories, schools can track spending and ensure that each area receives appropriate funding. This structure also makes it easier to adjust allocations as needs change throughout the year. Personnel costs make up the largest share of most school budgets. This includes salaries for teachers, administrators, and support staff, as well as benefits like health insurance and retirement contributions. Investing in qualified staff is essential for delivering quality education. However, rising personnel costs can put pressure on other budget areas, making it important for schools to balance staffing needs with available resources. Instructional materials include textbooks, technology, and classroom supplies. These resources are vital for effective teaching and learning. Schools must regularly update materials to keep up with curriculum changes and technological advancements. Allocating sufficient funds for instructional materials ensures that students have access to the tools they need to succeed in the classroom. Maintaining school buildings and grounds is another significant budget item. Regular maintenance ensures a safe and comfortable learning environment for students and staff. This includes repairs, cleaning, and upgrades to facilities. Investing in maintenance can prevent costly problems in the future and supports the overall well-being of the school community. Transportation is an essential service for many schools, especially in rural or large districts. Budgeting for transportation includes costs for buses, fuel, maintenance, and drivers' salaries. Efficient transportation planning ensures that students arrive at school safely and on time. Schools must balance transportation needs with other budget priorities to provide reliable service without overspending. Extracurricular activities such as sports, music, and clubs play a vital role in student development. Funding for these programs covers equipment, coaching, and event expenses. While not always mandatory, extracurriculars contribute to a well-rounded education and help build school spirit. Schools must decide how much of their budget to allocate to these activities based on student interest and available resources. Many schools offer special programs such as special education, gifted education, or language support. These programs often require additional funding for specialized staff, materials, and training. Allocating resources to special programs ensures that all students receive the support they need to thrive, regardless of their individual learning needs. Capital projects involve major investments in school facilities, such as building new classrooms, renovating existing structures, or upgrading technology infrastructure. These projects are typically funded through bonds or special grants and require careful long-term planning. Capital investments help schools adapt to changing enrollment and educational needs. Once a budget is developed, it must be reviewed and approved by the school board or governing body. This process ensures that the budget aligns with the school's mission and legal requirements. Public input may also be sought during this stage, allowing community members to voice their opinions and concerns. Approval marks the transition from planning to implementation. After approval, the budget is put into action. School administrators monitor spending to ensure funds are used as planned. Regular financial reports help track progress and identify any issues early. If unexpected expenses arise, adjustments may be necessary to stay within budget. Effective implementation is key to achieving the school's goals and maintaining financial health. Ongoing monitoring and evaluation are essential for successful budgeting. Schools regularly review financial statements and compare actual spending to the budget. This process helps identify areas of overspending or savings and informs future budget decisions. Continuous evaluation ensures that resources are used effectively and that the school remains financially stable. Transparency is a cornerstone of effective school finance. By openly sharing budget information with staff, parents, and the community, schools build trust and accountability. Transparent practices include publishing budgets, holding public meetings, and providing regular updates on financial status. This openness encourages stakeholder engagement and supports better decision-making. Schools face many challenges in managing their finances. Fluctuating funding levels, rising costs, and changing student needs can all impact the budget. Economic downturns or policy changes may lead to budget cuts, forcing schools to make difficult choices. By anticipating challenges and planning proactively, schools can better navigate financial uncertainties. Equitable resource allocation means distributing funds and resources based on student needs rather than treating every school or student the same. This approach helps close achievement gaps and ensures that all students have access to quality education. Schools may use data on enrollment, poverty rates, or special needs to guide equitable allocation decisions. School finance is governed by laws and ethical standards to ensure fairness and accountability. Schools must comply with regulations regarding spending, reporting, and auditing. Ethical considerations include using funds for their intended purposes and avoiding conflicts of interest. Adhering to legal and ethical guidelines protects the integrity of the school and builds public trust. Technology plays an increasingly important role in school finance. Financial management software helps schools track spending, generate reports, and forecast future needs. Technology also supports transparency by making budget information more accessible to stakeholders. Investing in the right tools can streamline budgeting and improve decision-making. Engaging the community in school finance decisions fosters a sense of ownership and support. Schools can involve parents, local businesses, and other stakeholders through advisory committees, surveys, and public forums. Community input helps ensure that the budget reflects local priorities and values, leading to stronger partnerships and better outcomes for students. Supplement traditional funding sources. Many schools pursue grants and fundraising initiatives. Grant writing involves applying for funds from government agencies, foundations, or businesses. Fundraising can include events, campaigns, or partnerships with local organizations. These efforts provide additional resources for special projects or programs that might not fit within the regular budget. Accurate financial reporting is essential for accountability and transparency. Schools prepare regular reports that detail income, expenditures, and budget status. These reports are shared with administrators, boards, and the public to keep everyone informed. Clear reporting helps identify trends, spot potential issues, and guide future financial planning. Audits are formal reviews of a school's financial records and practices. Conducted by independent auditors, these reviews ensure that funds are managed properly and in compliance with laws and policies. Audits provide an extra layer of accountability and can help identify areas for improvement in financial management. When schools face budget shortfalls, they must make tough decisions about where to cut costs or find additional funding. This might involve reducing programs, delaying purchases, or seeking emergency funds. Effective communication and careful planning are essential during these times to minimize the impact on students and staff. Long-term financial planning helps schools prepare for future needs and challenges. This process involves forecasting enrollment, projecting revenues and expenses, and setting aside reserves for emergencies. Strategic planning ensures that schools remain financially stable and can continue to provide quality education over time. Adopting best practices in school finance leads to better outcomes for students and the community. These include regular training for staff, ongoing evaluation of financial processes, and staying informed about changes in funding or regulations. By following proven strategies, schools can maximize their resources and achieve their educational goals. Let's look at a case study of a school that successfully managed its budget. By involving staff and the community in the budgeting process, prioritizing essential programs, and regularly reviewing spending, this school was able to improve student outcomes and maintain financial health. Their experience highlights the importance of collaboration, transparency, and strategic planning in school finance. Summary: effective school finance, budgeting, and resource allocation are essential for providing quality education. By understanding funding sources, developing thoughtful budgets, and allocating resources equitably, schools can meet the needs of their students and communities. Ongoing monitoring, transparency, and community involvement further strengthen financial management. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of school finance. We hope you now have a clearer picture of how schools manage their resources for success.